in the queue. We're going to bring in Rob Parker here in one second.
My man.
After a quick word from Epicor. Today's episode of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show is brought to you by Epicor. Every team knows the value of hard work, of taking pride in what you build, in practicing every detail to get the best results, but no one player, no matter how amazing, can do it all alone. Working together makes getting the win easier. At Epicor, the all-stars are the hardworking manufacturers and distributors who create and deliver the things we all need, from aerospace to electrical to medical devices, from small businesses with big dreams to growing enterprises with global visions. We'll equip you with the right tools to move forward, think ahead, and lead the way, because as the clock ticks down, you need to make the most out of every hardworking minute. Easier doesn't cut corners. Easier finds the lane. Discover your success at easierwithepicor.com. And with that, we are thrilled to welcome in Rob Parker to the show. How you doing today, Rob?
I'm doing great. How are you?
My man, look at Rob with the gray beard, bro. I haven't seen you in a minute. Woo.
I know. Unbelievable, Jay. Unbelievable, man.
Hey.
Man, that gray hair, when I first got it, I swear to you, I was in the mirror going like this, like there's something in my hair. And then I realized it was my hair. You know what I mean?
Me too. I keep thinking, did I walk under a powder? What's going on right now?
You know, Jay, let me tell you something. You know, Rob had me on a couple of weeks ago. We was talking about Shedeur.
That's why he's on.
And the reps is coming, Rob. They on the way. The reps is coming today and tomorrow. I foretold this.
Kenny Pickett goes down with the hamstring injury, so that now there's not 4 in camp. There's 3 in camp. This is the perfect opportunity. If you're one of these young guys, you finally look around and say, okay, I got an old head out of here now. Let's see what I got. What do you project from Shadur Sanders?
I'm skeptical. I think he'll be either on the practice squad or cut, to be honest. That's really my feeling, because the actions of the Browns don't feel like, wow, we got lucky, we grabbed somebody who has talent. I'll give you a couple of examples why I'm not buying into the Shedeur Sanders. Number one, it doesn't matter who you have in quarterback. I remember D Hawks, right? He threw 6 touchdowns against the Lions. Everybody thought he had arrived. Seahawks gave him a big deal, and Russell Wilson showed up. And guess what they did? They got rid of Matt Flynn, and Russell Wilson was their quarterback, and they won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Here's 2. Tom Brady is his mentor. Tom Brady is with the Raiders. He has influence. They have plenty of picks to pick Shedeur. I know that they have Gino's Pizza there as well. He's not the long-term quarterback, right? And if you really believe Tom Brady's worked with him, he's his mentor, he could believe in the guy.
I never thought of that, Rob, but you're right.
I'm dead serious. Like, think about that. That's the place to me where Tom Brady could have said, I was a 6th-round pick. You know, people passed on me. I believe in this kid. I've worked out with this kid. I know what this kid has. And it didn't happen. And I don't believe that unless the ownership stepped in, that he would have been drafted by the Browns. So you know, if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But all the signs are not good. They didn't give him any first-team reps in mini camp, and now only because of an injury is he really finally getting a chance. If you really believe you had a talent there, you would just drop your plans that you have and go with that guy. So I can be proven wrong, but I don't believe that that's the case.
Well, that's an interesting take. I hadn't even thought about the Raiders and the Tom Brady connection, because you're right. Tom Brady was very influential and instrumental in the young man's growth during his college years. This is a loaded question. It's not fair to Shedeur, and it's not fair to Deion either. But some have speculated that, you know, usually when your dad is a Hall of Famer, kind of a one-of-one guy, and Deion was kind of in that club, like, that's a good thing. But there's been a lot of speculation that if you draft Shedeur, you're getting Pops too, and that creates drama, and it could create drama. And then, you know, what if he pops off if his kid is benched or not starting? Do you buy into any of that, or is Deion an absolute non-factor in all of this?
Maybe a small factor, but I don't buy into this idea, oh, the league is trying to humble Shedeur, and this is a knock against Deion. My issue here is, I'm just going by And Jay, you know me, I'm a straight shooter. If I believe that something was going on, I'd say it.
No, you are.
So I'm not that guy.
No.
Okay, but I do believe this. There's a couple things at play. Dion didn't help his cause. Shedeur didn't help his cause with the reports about how he came in unprepared and stuff. So that none of that helped. But the real thing is, if he's not going to be your number one quarterback, do you want the headache of a star backup quarterback that everybody's always going to be clamoring about playing? It's the reason Tim Tebow couldn't keep a career in the NFL. Nobody wants that guy to be around, and every time the quarterback has a bad day, how come he's not getting reps? How come he's not playing? And the reporters are around his locker every day about why he doesn't have an opportunity. And remember, there were only 4 or 5 teams that were really looking for a quarterback. It wasn't like everybody was looking for a quarterback. So when he keeps getting passed by, people think you're getting passed by 30 teams. In reality, there's only 4 or 5 teams, so it looks worse than it really is.
Yeah.
There were 25 teams that didn't want a quarterback and were never going to draft a quarterback under any circumstance.
No, that's a good one.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question real quick. Outside of the other stuff, and whether it's his dad or whatever the case may be, what was your assessment on Shedeur Sanders from a strictly quarterback playing on the field? What is his skill set? What was your opinion on him as strictly in between the lines at Colorado when he was coming out of the draft?
I'm not a football scout, so I'm always going to that I don't scout talent. I look at highlights and I look at people. I don't know what his footwork is and all that other stuff. So I'm always that guy because I don't play football at that level. But I think his hype was bigger than his game. He beat only one ranked opponent there. They didn't even have a winning record. And I get it. It's Colorado. And yes, things turned around from year one. I'm not so sure that I can't remember who they beat week one. The team that was in
TCU.
Was
TCU,
it
yeah.
TCU? And then we found out that TCU wasn't that good, right? That year after they were in the Final Four or whatever it was in the college football playoffs. But my point is, that's where I leave. I think his stock was overhyped because of his name, because of his dad, because of the star power that came with what went on at Colorado. But when you start to really look at like the meat and potatoes of what really took place, I don't think anybody went there and thought he was going to be Eli Manning or the top or Andrew Luck or the top pick in the draft. And I think that's where people got crazy thinking he was going to be a top pick or a top quarterback drafted when a lot of scouts didn't see it that way.
Is that the Dion effect? Like if his name is Shedeur Parker, are we talking about him right now?
I don't know if he's even in camp. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's even in camp.
Interesting.
I really don't. And it doesn't mean that he can't play or there's not a place for him. I just think it was overhyped by a lot of people. And then you break down and cry. That looked kind of weird, right? That Mel Kiper's been wrong many times on quarterbacks. And I'm not trying to rip his career or anything, Jay, but those are facts. This is not an exact science. He might wind up to be Tom Brady. I don't know, but I really feel like people kind of overestimated, where he was. And then when it didn't come to fruition, they used every kind of conspiracy to make the reason. There are too many teams, too many general managers, and too many coaches trying to win in the NFL. You can't tell me with honest conscience that a GM or a coach who sees a talent is not going to take him because he's trying to teach him a lesson or humble some kid or get back at John. I don't believe that. Yeah. You want to win. Jay, they haven't won in Cleveland. Come on, man. You don't want to win? Yes, you want to win.
Yeah.
If you're the New York Jets, you don't want to win? Yes, you want to win. Come on. I don't buy it.
So, Rob, just based on everything that you said, I'm asking your opinion. What do you think the projection for Shadur Sanders is as an NFL quarterback, whether it's in Cleveland or elsewhere?
Right now, a backup quarterback, given being put in the right situation and circumstance, maybe he could develop into something. I just see that from the start. They have all the tape. They've watched them. You know what I mean? There's plenty of opportunity to evaluate. And it doesn't mean that they get it right all the time. I tell you all the time, they don't get it right. But from this standpoint, can he be in the league? Absolutely. Do I see him as a star quarterback in the league? I don't.
Well, listen, I knew you'd shoot straight. You always do. Regardless of anything else, you bring it. And I'm glad that we had you on. Great catching up.
Wait, Rob, you got time for one more
Go
quick
ahead.
one?
You got something, Mike?
Real quick. If it's not Shedeur, Rob, who do you think ends up being the Browns'
Yeah, good
starter?
question.
I mean,
Is Joe Flacco
one of the
too
two old guys. I mean, no, because quarterbacking nowadays, Aaron Rodgers is starting quarterback at 41. Like these guys, it's a different age group where people are still off to a good start. If he's a quarterback, then he could be the quarterback. I don't know if you're the Browns. Are you looking towards the future? Or are you trying to win now? Like people are trying to hold on to jobs and positions. You're trying to win now. There's no 5-year plan in the NFL. Who has a 5-year plan?
Yeah,
Those
you're
coaches
right.
get fired after 2 years. There's no such thing. You're trying to win now, and you're not talking about, the future, I want this guy to be my quarterback. If he blossoms and becomes a quarterback, and then you say to yourself, and Jaden Daniels or something like that, and you go, I have him for the years. Jaden scuffled or struggled, and wasn't that player, they wouldn't have just automatically penciled him in. Look at where the Jets are, with a quarterback, with their quarterback situation. Justin Fields, right, has some talent. He's been on 3 teams in 3 years.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. That's for sure. The beauty of it is, and we had Joe Thomas on early in the spring, and Joe has a way of just boiling it down to the lowest and easiest common denominator. He said, we're going to find out. If he's got talent, you can't hide it. And if he doesn't have the skill set, you can't hide that. So with the only positive about Kenny being out for whatever it is, a week, 2 weeks, whatever, these dudes are going to get some reps. They're either going to be exposed or they're going to shine. And we should have some sort of an idea, not to say that they can't improve as the season and their careers go on, but we should have some idea by September 1st what they are. And we'll find out.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that, and that's why you practice. That's why you put in the reps. And football is more, you practice more than you play. Everybody that. So that's how you evaluate people, and that's how you do it. And then you have to obviously go and transfer that into games. So I'm not a guy saying that that Shedeur can't play and he doesn't deserve. This ain't Bronny James getting drafted by the Lakers. That's not what I'm calling this.
No.
But I will that not at all. Shedeur can play, but where he really fits in, and people have to let go of the emotional attachment, because I think that's a lot of people have become emotional because it is Deion's son and because he's kind of flashy and all that other stuff. And they've really, really negated a lot of people in pro football who this is their livelihood and this is their careers, and to disregard them and act like there's some humble lesson that's here doing great work for the league to show these kids what to do and what not to do. So they Shedeur that as an example.
Right.
I think overblown and so overstated.
Well, listen, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate your opinions. And let's catch up soon, all right?
I'm going to be in town. I'm coming to the NABJ convention, the National Association of Black Journalists, next week.
That's awesome. Hey, listen, we've got a lot of other mutual friends that are going to be in for that. So let's do dinner. Let's get a group and let's do dinner.
And I'm gonna give you that.
I'll be there. Yes.
I'm gonna get that 12 jersey and I'll send it with Jay. and get the 12
Yeah.
jersey. You want the home or the away, Rob?
He's leading the band
You want
now
the home
on
or the
Shedeur
away?
Sanders.
We get you the home or the away or the alternate.
And we're going to send you the perfect timing song on your Apple Music, man.
All right, hey,
Throw your AP up, Rob.
hey, that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take the home jersey. You know what? I need a collector's item. I'm
You
just
ain't
saying.
wearing that Browns jersey anywhere. You don't want tomatoes thrown at you. Don't be silly. Rob, love you, brother. We'll catch up when you're in town for
Love you
ABJ.
too.
I can't wait.
All right.
Yes. All right, guys. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Rob's a great person, a longtime friend, great guy, and he doesn't really care. He just speaks it.
I done been
Yeah,
on-
I wanted to spend.
Yeah.
We got to react to that real quick.
Sure.
In the middle of an interview, I know it's tough to get your thoughts off, but Jay, I think you had an idea of what was coming.
I did not.
I had no idea.
Listen, I honestly, as I'm thinking,
I
because
felt like that was a setup.
Steven said we got to get Rob on. Steve
Sure.
texted me and said, hey, we got to get Rob Parker on to talk about Shedeur. And I go, you know what? I haven't not talked
Bro,
about
I ain't see that coming.
When Rob and I didn't either. When Rob and I
that
talk,
coming.
just so you know, Rob is as big a baseball fan as I am. When we talk, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, it is only baseball.
Can I just say this?
That's it.
I know, G, you gonna cook, man. You done played this game at a collegiate level. Listen, man, I am a diehard football fan. I am not an analyst. I am not no expert. I give my opinion, but
Right.
my eyes work. And I've watched Shadur Sanders play football for a very long time.
Right.
And I fail to believe that Shadur Sanders don't have talent. I think that.
Well, Rob never said that.
Well,
That's not what he said.
At the end,
Rob said he can play.
Jay, let me finish.
Yeah, but I mean, don't mischaracterize his comments.
I didn't even get 5 words in what I was saying before you cut me off.
Well,
at the end, Rob did say he thinks he can play football.
Yes.
But you coming at this as if like he's not good enough to be a starting quarterback here or whatever the case may be. I'll just say this, man. To each his own. Everybody have their own opinion.
Yeah.
But this is a motivated young man. This is a young man that, by all accounts, his skill set matches what the Cleveland Browns want to do. All he wants is an opportunity to show what he can do. If Shadur Sanders can play, he's going to get the opportunity to be the Browns starting quarterback for years to come. If he can't, this
That's
will be
it.
another year where we've hyped another quarterback and then we move
We're
on,
wrong
and that'll
again.
be the end of it.
Yeah.
I just think people want to see this dude get a fair shot. And all this narrative about, like, you know, like just being over what all these teams passing up on him. Listen, I didn't hear that about Trey Lance, and Trey Lance went to a small school. They didn't talk about how many, you know, top tier teams he beat at his school. I ain't hear that about Tony Romo.
Yeah, but
and
don't
he went
use
to a small
Trey
school.
Lance because Trey Lance has not been him.
But I'm just
You know
saying,
what I'm saying?
there are plenty of people that come out that go to small schools or go to schools that don't play big time competition, or you look at the level of competition.
Was
this
it a
big
red flag
quarterbacks or
for you?
whatever.
I didn't know this. I don't know if it's true. We probably should fact check it. Maybe you guys know. Is it a red flag for you that he only beat one ranked team? I was unaware of that number.
Bro,
It could be.
There was one.
But how many ranked
let me
teams
tell
did
you
Josh
this.
Allen play when he was in college?
let me
Or
tell
the rest of them play when
No,
they was
I'm
in college?
not
They
talking
were
about
one
them. I'm just talking about him.
They are one. Let me just give you all this, man. So unlike a lot of people, I've watched every throw that Shadur Sanders has ever thrown at Colorado and Jackson State. I watched all Colorado games live.
What?
Yes, live.
You
on
might be the
television.
only one that's not a Colorado fan that did that.
No, hold on. This is the thing. This is how Prime go. My dad went to a HBCU, right? He's a diehard Ohio State fan. My brother's a diehard Ohio State fan. When Prime went to Colorado, that was must see. We watched all Colorado games. We watched the Baylor game.
My
We watched the
goodness.
TCU game. We watched the
Hey,
Arizona
speaking
game.
of Colorado, Sanders is having a press conference in like 15 minutes to
Yeah, he
announce
going through some
medical
stuff.
update. Is
Yeah,
there,
Yeah, no,
Yeah, he
yeah,
going
is
through
there a
that's
chance he just
there is a
steps
chance.
away?
So not for good, but there's a chance that he misses some time. That's what I heard. I don't know. He's going to update us.
He had a thing where he put on Instagram where he was like, man, it was kind of tough. I had to do a wheel the other day.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
whoa. So he got something coming up at 11 Colorado time. But
Well, that should be
coming up
That's
like
an hour. That's 15 minutes from now.
So shout out to Rob for coming on. Now y'all didn't know that was. I done been on the Odd Couple numerous times.
Yeah. Me and Chris Broussard.
Yeah.
Blue's gone now. But
yeah.
Rob's still there.
Another partner. But So you know, I've had the opportunity to talk to him a few times, and I just was on maybe about a week ago, and we were talking about Shedeur Sanders. So I already knew he was.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
When Steve asked me, "Can you get him on?" I said,
I had no idea.
I literally said, "Yeah," because I'd like to know where he is on Shedeur too. I had no idea.
I've been on like 3 times since then, and then so I was always. That's why the first thing I said, "Hey Rob, them reps is coming." Because when I was on the show, he said, "Come on, G Bush, he not even getting no reps." I said, "The reps is coming. Don't even worry." That's why I said what I said. So I already knew.
Before he came on, I was like, "Hey, that's G Bush in the middle." He just laughed.
Yeah, right.
I tried to. I don't think he knew Earl, so I was like,
Right.
Earl, I know you know Jade,
Right.
and he just laughed. So that makes way more sense
Right.
now. Okay.
So now when he come on, I'm like, listen. So he's already been on record being like, I'm a Shedeur detractor. He thinks he can play, but he also thinks that he was hyped up a lot. That's why I asked him that question.
That was what I took from him, is that he was more hype than game. But again, this is what I love about this. We're gonna find out. We're going to find out.
That's why this is beautiful, because look, and I that's why I said I'm gonna hold you to this. I said, listen. He said, "What about Kenny Pickett?" The last time I was on the show, I said, "Well, listen. If Kenny Pickett balls out, I will tell you he had a good day of practice. I ain't even like that." He said,
"Well, you complimented Kenny Pickett at the top of the show."
And I said, "I think you're a fair dealer too. If Shedeur Sanders balls out, Rob, I feel like you'll say it." That's why he said it.
Here's the thing, and this is why Rob is one of my go-tos, okay? We're obligated to do that. Anybody that doesn't do that on any single topic, to me, you lost your credibility. You can't pick and choose emotionally, or, you know, I met him once, and one of the things that was very difficult for me early in my career, when I say early, I mean my Tampa stint. I was 31 when I got there. I would meet these Buccaneers, and I'd be like, man, these cats are real. Mm-hmm. Derek Brooks, Warwick Dunn, John Lynch, Rondé Barber. These guys were like, if they walked in right now and you had a 30-minute conversation, you'd go home today. Everybody you met, you'd say, "Oh my God, I met Derek Brooks today. I knew he was a great player. Man, I had no idea what a great guy he was." One of the hard things that I had a difficult time with was separating that from the art from the artist. Okay? Now, Warren Sapp was, as great as those guys were, Warren was the other guy. Okay? He just had no time for anybody. He just was. I saw him do some things that I'm like, wow, I just watched a human being say that to a kid. I'm like, man, that is messed up. But when we went out there and had 3 sacks and batted down 4 passes and was the complete disruptor that he was, I had to go on TV and I had to say that. But it was a little difficult for me to pump up the guys that I thought were bad human beings and to be critical of the guys that I thought were great human beings. But then you realize right away, all you have is your name, and you make your reputation every day.
Remember,
dive in on one guy wrong at the wrong time.
It's like covering Jared Allen.
It's like,
great guy.
yo,
how can you say bad things about Jared Allen?
That's why I told, if you keep the main thing. Look, I said on my blog, I said, listen, I love what you're doing.
Hey, we got legit breaking news here.